Hello, it's Mrs. Krantz. Today we're going to continue on our journey through conic sections. And if you're like one of these two, wake up and get your pencil ready. Let's get ready to go. There's Chewy, Pagoda, Yoda. All right. Second conic section. First was the parabola, which we all know and love. Today's the circle. 10.3, chapter 10, section 3, circle, the second of the 4 conic sections. I plan to post this on April 14th. That's a Tuesday after like a 4-day break that we'll have. Easter Sunday weekend, all of that. So, conic sections, they all have a very similar definition. Okay, and the first one, I'm sure you've got it memorized, don't you? I know Emily does, probably Cassie too. Aiden, do you have the conic section parabola definition memorized? Okay, if you don't, it is the set of all points in a plane such that each point is equidistant from a fixed point called the focus and a fixed line called the, what is that? Anyone know, Samuel? Do you know? And a fixed line, which is the directrix. Yes, you're right. Okay, now we're going on to the circle. All right, this is a nice, easy one, so you're gonna like this. This is, of course, the easiest of all 4 conics. Definition: set of all points in a plane such that each point is equidistant, the same distance, from a fixed point. And that fixed point is, of course, the center of the circle. All right, there's a definition of a circle. All right. Now, unlike a parabola that has a whole bunch of formulas, the circle has one formula, and it's super simple because we're going to derive it from where it comes from, which is the distance formula. So, do you remember the distance formula? The distance between 2 points, and the points are x1, y1, x2, y2. First point, second point. All right, what's the distance formula? It's kind of long, but I know you remember it. The distance is a big square root. And you go parenthesis, the quantity y2 minus y1, quantity what? You got it, squared, plus, then you subtract the y values, y2 minus y1, quantity squared. That's the distance formula between 2 points, okay? x1, y1 is a point, x2, y2. Now, this relates directly to this circle here. I've got 2 points. The most important point that's not even on the circle is the center of the circle, which we know is HK. HK is the center of the circle. All right, it's not the vertex, it's the center. All right, then we've got a point, any old point on the circle. I'm going to call that point just XY. All right. And what's the distance between these 2 points? The distance, instead of D, I'm going to call it what it is on the circle, which is the radius. So now we're going to do some substitutions. And for the distance, I'm going to put R, okay? In for my second point, x2, y2, I'm going to put xy, right? So instead of x2, I'm going to go x minus, now what's going to go in for the first point? This is the second point. First point is the center. All right. So in for x1 goes h, x minus h, quantity squared, plus, now we substitute yn minus the center y value, which is k, quantity squared. Okay. Then we're going to get rid of this big square root by doing the opposite of square rooting. Square both sides. The square root squared cancel. Here is the circle formula. I'm going to switch the order in which I write it. X minus h, quantity squared, plus y minus k, quantity squared, equals the radius squared. Only formula we need to know for a circle. Okay? HK is the center of the circle. R is the radius. Here's the formula, the one and only formula. Okay? So you need three things to write the equation of a circle. First problem, write the equation of a circle with center 1, -3, and radius 2 square root of 3. Okay, radius can be anything. All right, of course not negative because it's a distance. All right, so we plug in, we go x minus h, which is 1, quantity squared, plus y, now double negative, minus a -3, so plus 3, quantity squared, equals. Now you have to take the radius and square it, okay? And that means we're gonna square 2, that's 4, and square the square root of 3. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. So 4 times 3, radius squared is 12. There we go. You're gonna like these. These are pretty quick, basic problems. Circle is really the most basic of the conic sections. All right, second problem. Write an equation for the translation of x squared plus y squared equals 9. Okay, this is a basic circle. What's the center? What's the center there? Veronica, back there. What's the center? 0, 0, you're right. What's the radius? Brooke. This is radius squared. You got it, Brooke. The radius is 3. Okay, we're gonna take this and move it left 6, up 1. And increase the radius by 4. Okay, write the new equation. All right, left 6, where's that going to take this? 6 to the left. Now my new center is -6, and 1 up is +1. All right, so there's my new center, HK. Now what's my new radius? It was 3, and now we're going to increase by 4. New radius is 7. Write the equation. X minus h, double negative, plus 6, quantity squared, plus y minus k, that's 1, quantity squared, equals radius squared. 7 times 7, 49. Okay. Second equation. Number 3, translate this equation. X minus 5 quantity squared plus y plus 1 quantity squared equals 20. I'm going to take this circle. Where is the center? The center is 5, -1. 5, -1. 5, -1. Okay. And we're going to move it right 2. So 2 more to the right. 2 to the right. And 4 up. Where will that move? That's 2 more to the right, so plus 2. My new center will be 7. All right, and then 4 up, so plus 4, 3. Here's my new center. Okay, 2 to the right, 4 up. Now I'm going to increase the radius by 6 square root of 5. Remember, this is the radius squared, so the radius is the square root of 20, and that's 4 and 5, we square root. So the current radius is 2 square root of 5, and we're going to add 6 square roots of 5. So my new radius is how many square roots of 5? 8. Okay. So my new radius is 8 square roots of 5. All right, what do I do now? Well, I'm ready to write the equation. Translate this. All right, it's now x minus 7, h, quantity squared, plus y minus 3, quantity squared, equals the radius squared. Now I have to square this whole thing. So I have to square 8, that's 64, and square the square root of 5 times 5. That gives us 320 for my radius squared. All right. Problem number 3. Now, I have an equation. I just need to find the center and the radius. I know it is a circle. I have a plus, I have an x squared, I have a y squared. Coefficients are the same, but I want to do what with that coefficient? We need to divide it out. Okay, every term we're going to divide by 2. So this is x plus 2 quantity squared plus y plus 4 quantity squared equals, now I get a half of 512. Half of 500, half of 12. That's 250 and 6. 256. All right. So, center, HK. Center is, H is a negative 2, K is negative 4. Because it's minus a negative, minus a negative. All right. Radius is square root 256, 16. Center and the radius. Next one. 3 more problems. Number 5. Given this big long equation, write it in standard form, and then find the center and the radius. Ooh, this looks a little longer. All right, what do? I've got my 2x squared, 2y squared, negative 16x, 4y plus 4 equals 0. I'm going to put all my x's together. I've got 2x squared minus 16x. All right, then I'm going to put my y's together. 2y squared plus 4y. And I want my constant, my number on the other side, so minus 4. Right. Now what? We are going to have to complete the square for x's and for y's. All right, your a number has to be 1, so I'm going to factor out the 2. Then I get x squared minus 8x. Leave some room to complete the square. Okay, take b, negative 8 divided by 2, that's negative 4, and square it. Negative 4 squared is plus 16. All right. Then I'm going to do the same thing for my y's. I need to factor out the 2 in front of y squared, and I get y squared plus 2y, and then leave room to complete the square. All right. Take my new b is 2 divided by 2, that's 1, and square it, so I'm going to add 1. Okay. So we completed the square 2 times on this side. All right, so we added 2 things to this side. We didn't actually really add 16. We added 16 times 2. I added 32 to this side, so that means I have to add 32 to the other side. I have to do the same thing to both sides of the equation. Then when I completed the square on the y, I didn't really add 1. I added 2 times 1, which is 2. Okay. So you always have to do the same thing to both sides of the equation. And what I did in effect here is add 32, and then I added 2. All right. Now we're going to write this as 2 times the quantity x minus 4 squared. This negative 4 is here. Plus 2 times the quantity y plus 2 divided by 2, 1 squared equals, now I've got negative 4 plus 34, I've got 30. All right, then we're going to divide everything by 2, coefficient. And I get x minus 4 quantity squared plus y plus 1 quantity squared equals half of 30, 15. This is equation in standard form. It's really the only form for the circle. All right. The radius is 4, negative 1. H is 4, K is negative 1. And, sorry, that's the center. Center. Right? Radius is, this is r squared, so square root 15. Right. There we go. Which is a little less than 4, about 3.9. So we have the center, we have the radius. All right. and standard form. That was a long one. Next one. Let's see. Write in standard form and find the radius of a circle with the center, so this is my HK, all right, and passes through the point 2, 0. Standard form. Let's write it out. X minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals what? You know, radius squared. Okay. I need to find the radius. I don't know the radius. I'm going to have to do some plug-ins, some substitutions. All right, what am I going to plug in for what? Well, I know the center HK, and what's 2, 0? 2, 0 is a point, xy. So let's plug it in. We've got 4 numbers to plug in. X, which is 2, minus h double negative, so plus 6 squared, plus y is 0, minus a negative, so plus 4 squared, equals the radius squared. This is 8 squared, 64, plus 4 squared, 16, equals the radius squared. 80 is the radius squared. What's the radius? Radius is square root 80. And what does 80 have in it? Biggest perfect square is 16, 5 left over. So the radius is 4 square roots of 5. 4 squared of 5. And write in standard form. X plus 6 quantity squared plus y plus 4 quantity squared equals the radius squared, 80. Equation in standard form, radius. All right. Lastly, graph. How do you know? Well, there's a graph right here. What do you need to graph? Same thing, 3 things you need to write in an equation. The center and the radius. All right. So what do I need to do? I need to get the thing in standard form. I need to divide by 5. All right. So this is x plus 4 quantity squared plus y plus 2 quantity squared. 125 divided by 5, 25. All right. Standard form. What is the center? It is h, negative 4k, negative 2. Radius is the square root of 25, which is 5. Okay. If it doesn't end up being a perfect square, that's fine. The radius can be a non-perfect square. All right. It could be 4 square roots of 5. Right? That's okay. All right. It happens. But on ours, we have a nice radius. So negative 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2. All right. And the radius is 5, so I go 5 right, 5 left, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Right. Then we do our best here to draw a circle. Let's see what we get. And do your best. Beautiful. Right. Then I'm going to insist that we're going to label these 5 points. Okay, we've got center, and what are these 4 points that are actually on the circle? Well, let's see. This one is 1, negative 2. Right. And then I'm at negative 4, negative 5. That's negative 9, negative 2. Okay. Then I'm at negative 4. And then we're up 5. That takes me to 3. And then I'm at negative 4. And negative 2 minus 5, negative 7. All right. So complete graph, we've got the 4 points on the circumference of the circle. Okay. All right. So that's circles. Hopefully not too terribly difficult. One formula. The easiest of the 4 conics. Okay, the most basic. Tomorrow or the next day, we're going to take our circle and make something different that's similar. All right, called the ellipse. All right, we'll see you then. Have a good day. Bye.